Hi, my name is Oluwaseun Martins, and in this video, I'll talk about lecture recording using your computer. Now, for you to record your lecture on your computer, you need, number one, to download a suitable screen recording application, and also to set up the application to suit your speaking and visual quality that you would want to put out there. So, as regards to downloading a suitable screen recording applications, there are so many screen recording applications that you can use, but I personally I use the OBS Studio, which you can get just going to Google. Just put OBS Studio here and put your search. Now, OBS Studio is for your open broadcaster software. I just click here. So it's available for your Windows system, your Mac OS, and your Linux. So depending on the operating system that you have on your system, you can download whichever is suitable for you. Now, I'm not saying OBS is the best, but if you try to check the top 10 screen recording app, OBS Studio is one of the top 10. So here you can have the top 10 screen recorder. You can see here that we have OBS Studio as one of the top 10 screen recording app. The good thing about OBS Studio is that OBS Studio is open source, so you don't need to maybe pay for any renewal or make any in-app payment before you can use it. It's open source, and you get regular updates on it. As they get updates on it, you also get the update and you can update your OBS Studio accordingly. Now, I won't be downloading this OBS Studio again because I already have it on my system. I will just show you the window, and we go on to the settings that you might need to do. So after downloading your OBS Studio and you install on your system, you have this shortcut which you can use to launch your OBS Studio at any time you want to use it. So once you launch it, you get a window that looks like this. So this is what the window of the OBS Studio looks like. So at the time you're installing your OBS Studio, it will require you to state whether you want to optimize OBS Studio for screen recording or for streaming. Now, in my own case, I don't do streaming with my OBS Studio, so I only optimize mine for screen recording. So if you also want to just use it basically for screen recording, you can just optimize this for screen recording. If you want to use it for streaming, you can also do that, but I use mine for just screen recording. So what is important, number one, is to set the source or sources from where you want OBS Studio to be recording from, because automatically it won't capture your screen or capture a certain maybe media that you want to have playing in the background. So you need to set your sources. Now, if you come here where you have sources, after you do your installation, all of these spaces will be blank. So you have to select the sources that you want OBS Studio to record from. So just go to this button here that looks like the plus symbol. So once you click on it, you can see an array of sources that OBS Studio can capture your recordings from. You can decide to use, maybe you have a certain audio input that you want OBS Studio to capture, maybe a microphone or maybe a condenser microphone that you want to attach to your system. You can just click this to add to the sources where OBS Studio will be capturing your recordings from. Probably you want OBS Studio to actually capture from an audio output. Maybe you plug a speaker to your system and you want OBS Studio to capture whatever is coming from that speaker, so you can have an audio output capture here as well. But what is important is your screen. You want OBS Studio to capture your whole screen, so you need to add your display capture to your sources. So you click on your display capture. I already have that, so I don't need to do that again. And in my case, I also do a image capture just to put my image at the corner of my screen. So I have that also as a source which I'm using, and also I have a sound playing in the background. If you listen to the video, you can see that you hear a sound playing in the background. That is from my media source. So I am using these three sources. Then you can also have, probably you have a camera. Maybe you want to show a way by which an experiment is being done. You can actually attach a camera to your system and let that camera focus on the procedure of doing the experiment, or maybe the procedure of maybe putting a circuit together, or maybe carrying out something that you want the student to see. In that case, you might need to add this video capture device. So it might be capturing probably using your system camera itself, or you want to capture using a camera attached to your system. So you can just select this and select that source accordingly. But for me, I have just these three sources: the image, which is what you are seeing on this corner of your screen, then also my media source, which is the sound playing in the background, and also the display capture. Now you can see my display capture. Now once I put my mouse cursor here, it shows me the area that is being captured on my screen. So from here I can see that I'm capturing the whole screen of my system. So that is very important. So for the image source, if I click on this, I can go to properties, or I just come here to browse. Maybe I want to change the image. I can just browse and maybe select another image that I want if I don't want to use this one, but this is what I'm using, so I'll just leave it at that and just cancel. Then I can move it to anywhere I want it to be on the screen. So I can either move it to this corner, or move it up there, or move it down here, or whatever I want, wherever I want to put it. But I decided to put it here. I can enlarge it. I can equally reduce it depending on the size I want. The same thing I'm doing with this image, I can do it with having a video capture device. Maybe I want my video, my visuals to be shown alongside the recording that I'm doing. Then clicking this video capture, it will come here as a source, and I can move the window the same way I've done with the image here to wherever I want that video to be showing on the screen. So, but I don't add my videos to it, because if you add videos to your recording, it increases the size of your video at the end of the day, and you might need to also do compress your video. I'll also show another video whereby you can how to do video compressing and how to do video editing. But here I just want to show how to set up your OBS Studio for your screen recording. So we have talked about the display capture, we have talked about the media. Also is just whatever sound you want to be playing in the background. I have the one playing in the background already, so I can just, maybe if I want to change it, I can just click on the property like I did here. Okay, let me just do that again. You can click on the media source itself, click on the properties here, then you can browse if you want to change that very media that is playing in the background. So you can change it. Then you have to click on loop so that it keeps playing over and over again while you're making your recording. Then you can, whenever your device is active, it can restart the playback just to start from the beginning. Then the speed of the sound itself, you can just find a speed that you feel is appropriate for you. I usually put mine at 50% in this case, so it will not be too fast or too slow. So that's for the three sources I use. You might want to add other sources as well, depending on what you want to do. Maybe you want to add a video capture device to it, or you want to add an audio output or an audio input capture device as well. Now you need to go to settings, because it's very important. When you go to settings, you can access your settings from here, or you can access it coming to file and can equally access settings as well. So whichever way you want to go to access your settings. So what is important for your settings is your audio and your video. Now I'm using an high definition screen. So my screen is 1920 by 1080. So that's what I'm using as my base canvas resolution. You can find out your own system resolution going to your system information. And my output also, I want my output to be in HD screen resolution as well. So I'm leaving it at my 1920 by 1080 resolution. Then for my FSP, that's my frame per second value, I'm using 60 because the higher the frames per second, the better the quality of your video. So I'm leaving my own at 60. If your system can go as high as maybe 120 or 240, you can equally put it there, but you don't want to use a too high FSP so that the video will not be too large, and a too low FSP will not give you a very good quality. So but I leave mine at so I've had all of that set out, so I won't be changing any settings because I'm even recording, so you can't make any changes while you're recording. So the next thing is your audio. Now when you install your OBS Studio, all of these audio devices will be activated, and you find a lot of meter bars here. You can see here I only have two, my media source and my mic or auxiliary, which is what I'm speaking from. But by default, let me go to settings again. You have several meters there for all of this, so you need to disable every one of them and only enable the one and select the one you want to be speaking from. Because if you leave all of these global audio devices, all these devices are the ones that are with your system, maybe your laptop microphone itself and other devices that you can speak from your system itself. So they will be enabled by default. So you have to disable them and only enable the one that you'll be speaking. So that will prevent interference. So here I'm only using my headphone, so that's why I'm using this audio device alone that I've enabled here. So one other thing again with sound or audio with video is that you have to get a very good sound. So what OBS Studio helps you to do is that you can come to this menu here for any of the sound that you might have enabled. Once you come here, you come to filters. So come to filters. Now there are two filters that are very, very important so that I can get a good sound from your OBS Studio. The first one is your noise suppression, and the other one is your noise gate. Now by default, you will not have any filter by default. When you come to the filters, select whichever filter you want here. So with that, you can click on this button, then select the filter that you want. So you can just select your noise suppression and your noise gate. Now for your noise suppression, once you select it, you have the option to choose. Maybe you want to have this RN noise, good quality, more CPU usage, or you want to have this low CPU usage and low quality. But the best one is for you to use the RN noise, good quality, more CPU usage. With that, you are sure that you can suppress all the noise in your surrounding while you are recording, because sometimes you might be recording from where you have other sounds that might be coming in. So using this noise suppression will help suppress such noise. So for the noise gate, once you add it to your filter, you have this meter, the close threshold, the open threshold. Now what this two means is that if you don't speak to a certain level, your meter bar will not be moving. This bar that you can see down here that is moving as I'm speaking. So if your voice is not allowed to a certain decibel, your audio meter will not start to move, and once it's not moving, that means your sound is not being taken. Then so for this one, you need to set the one that is appropriate for your voice. So you can just move the slide bar around until you get the one that is appropriate for your normal speaking, because when you want to record speaking in the normal volume that which you speak. So you need to just set it to whichever that is convenient for you, the normal way you speak. Then also your close threshold is just the maximum volume that if you speak beyond that decibel, then the mic will cut off. It won't take that very audio input at that time. What that means is at sometimes it probably, maybe you have seen some videos before whereby you even put the video to the lowest volume, it's still too loud for you. So you at the time of recording, what has happened is that this close threshold was not properly set. So the speaker or the person making the recording actually spoke too loudly, and those volumes were taken. So that's why when you download those videos or you watch those videos, even when you reduce the volume of your own set to the minimum, it is still too loud for you. So that's what happened. So you need to set this to a certain volume, a certain decibel that you know that you don't want to speak beyond, you don't want to be your voice to go over that decibel, or whenever your voice goes over that decibel, it won't be taken. But the main thing is this open threshold, so that you can put it at a decibel that you can speak normally, the normal way that you speak. Now for this attack time, hold time, release time, you can just leave them at 10 milliseconds, 150 milliseconds, and 150 milliseconds that I have done. By default, you find this at 25 and find it at about probably 200 or something, but you can just leave them as these settings that you have here. So one more thing that you might need to set with your settings is the Alt key. If you look at it, you'll see that you have stop recording here. Before you start recording, you will see start a recording here, and I can pause this recording from here. But it won't be nice that each time you're making a video, you need to come to this window all the time. You need to come to this window from whatever thing you're doing, you minimize again and come to that video before you can make any changes. Maybe you want to stop, or you want to pause, or you want to start your recording, because doing that will mean that you need to do a lot of editing when you are done making that video, because all those times this window comes up within your video, you want to remove them. So to avoid all of that, you need to come to your settings and do what we call the Alt keys. And this is the Alt keys here. For my own Alt keys, for my start recording, I'm using number 1. For my stop recording, I'm using number 2. For my pause recording, I'm using number 4. For my own pause recording, I'm using number 5. So what that means is that without coming to this window, without coming to, now for my media, I'm using number 6 to restart my media. That is the sound playing in the background. If I press 6 now, this sound will start all over again. So that's what it means. So, but without me coming to this window, wherever window I am on my system, once I press number 1, so far this OBS Studio is already open and is minimized, the recording will start. If I press number 2, the recording will stop. If I press number 4, the recording will be paused. And if I press number 5, recording would restart. So, or we unpause that recording. So it prevents me from having to come to this window time and time again to stop or pause or start my recording, which will minimize my need for editing my video at the end of the day. So those are the very important settings that you might want to put on your OBS Studio. One thing you might be wondering is that whenever I make a recording, where does the video go? So once you stop your recording here, you can come to File, Show Recording. So once you click on that, it will show you where that recording is. This is the video we are currently recording now. So that's how you locate where it is. Just go to File, go to Show Recordings, and you see where that very video is being recorded. Mine is being recorded in my videos on my local drive C on my system. When it comes to displaying anything on your system. So far your window, your display capture, which is this, your display capture captures the whole size of your screen. You can see whenever I put my cursor here, it captures this whole size of my screen, not a portion of it, but the whole thing. And that is made possible from my settings here, where I showed my settings to my video, this my base and my output canvas. This is where that is done. This is my own screen resolution. You can find out which one is yours, so you can put the appropriate value there. So once that is done, wherever I go to my system window itself, and whatever I'm showing, everything I'm showing on this window now is being seen, is being recorded. So if I press my F5 or show my slideshow, so I'm sure that all of this screen is being seen and recorded. So I talked about the setup, the application, that is the settings. I talked about the downloading. I talked about the two outlines that we might have. So you can just prepare your normal slide for your lecture, and once all of your slides are being prepared, you can just use your normal slideshow. So you press whatever hotkey that you have specified to start your recording. Mine is 1, so once I press 1, the recording will start, so I can just keep talking whatever I want to do. So I only need to be shifting my slide to slide using my left and right arrow keys on my keyboard, or my up and down arrow keys on my keyboard. So, and maybe you are using Word in your own case. Let me just open a Word document where I can just show you how you can equally display Word document as well. So let me just show this course. So let's say I want to do a recording on this course now, and it's in Word. Maybe I don't have the time to do a presentation on a certain topic that I want to make. So what I need to do is just to come to this right corner of my Word page. Now we see 3 different icons here. This view that we usually use is the print layout. Now there's also the web layout, and you have the read mode. So you can just take it to the read mode. So in the read mode, it looks quite like you're having a presentation screen. And you can see that I have my my right arrow here and my left arrow here. So I only need to be pushing my left and right arrows on my keyboard to begin to show my Word file, and I can speak to each of the subtopics or whatever topic I want to train the student on at the time. So just go back with the left, go forward with the right, and on like that. So you can also do that for Word. And maybe you have, let me take this back to your print layout. If you have your maybe your file is in PDF, so for your PDF, once you open your PDF, you can just come to this full screen, or you press your F11 here. So when you click that, you can see how this will be showing. You need to use your control and your scroll bar on your mouse to enlarge this. So but in this case, you will just be using your up and down arrow key. If you use your left or right, it will take you to the second page, but you just be going with your up and down arrow key to move your page up and down. So that is how you can do for a PDF file. So that will be all in this video. Thank you very much for your time.